Thank you for wandering all the way to Mount Hood this morning. Did you enjoy the climb? We want to talk to you today about the NSF HI-TEC, or Advanced Technological Education Program, and also about some assistance that's available if you would like to pursue funding from this program. Specifically, if your college has not been an NSF HI-TEC grantee in the last 10 years or ever. If you've had other NSF funding, that's fine. If you've been a sub-award on somebody else's grant, that's fine, as long as your institution or the branch of your institution with a chief academic officer at that location has not been funded, you're eligible. We also have support services and resources for those of you who have been fortunate enough to have funding from the HI-TEC program, but would like to pursue another project. So with that, I'd like to introduce my co-presenters, Charlotte Forrest, who is the project manager and co-principal investigator for the Mentor Connect project, and Dr. Celeste Carter from the National Science Foundation, who will be sharing some information directly from the horse's mouth from NSF about the HI-TEC program, and we certainly welcome her to this program. A quick idea of what we're going to cover this morning. We'll first hear what the HI-TEC program is. Then we'll look at how Mentor Connect can help you take advantage of that program. Then you're going to hear from some people who actually have taken advantage of the program. Some of our mentees from the Mentor Connect project. And also we'll give you an opportunity to ask some questions. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Carter for the overview of the HI-TEC program.
Thank you, Elaine. Good morning, everybody. Got to say good morning earlier, but good morning again. Glad you're here. And as you can see, I put up a couple of shots. This is the current NSF building, which is in Arlington, Virginia. We're actually building a new building. We're going to move to Alexandria in the next couple of years. So next time I'll have some pictures of the new building as it's going up. My email is there. I am more than happy to receive any kind of email you want to send me. One of the things that's nice that I can help with a little bit, in addition to what Mentor Connect can do, is NSF allows us, even though a program solicitation has been published, to help people out. If you want to send me a 1 to 2 page synopsis of a project idea, I am more than willing to provide feedback on it and or find the correct disciplinary person who's on the HI-TEC team to give you feedback. So my real expertise was I had a biotechnology program. So if you send me something in 3D printing, rapid prototyping, advanced manufacturing, I'm probably going to go find one of the engineers to give you some feedback. But that's something that I can do. So a little bit about NSF. If you have not kind of looked at the way it's structured, it looks a little bit. You look at the bottom of this. It looks a little bit like an academic institution, and in a way, it's a federal agency. It's the smallest federal agency there is, but it functions a little bit like an academic institution. And you can see the red arrow is pointing to Education and Human Resources Directorate, and that's where the Division of Undergraduate Education is housed. You can see we've got the director and deputy director up there at the top. The National Science Board would kind of be like our trustees and that sort of a thing. And then there's some of those special offices that are over on the side. But EHR is what I'm going to talk a little bit about. I think all of us think our institution's website is actually, we always really think it's pretty easy to navigate, right? Most of us say, yeah, my institution really, they got it right. It's pretty easy. And I typically will say the same thing to people about the NSF site, and they go, oh no, Celeste, it's really not that easy to navigate. So there's a few things here to point out. One at the top is similar to our institutions. There's a quick links up there on the right-hand side, and it drops down and it gives you those directorate names so you could go directly to Education and Human Resources. You don't have to kind of wend your way through. Another thing is over to the left side, there's that ribbon, the blue ribbon at the top. That second tab is awards, okay? That's a database of everything that has been funded So you can get both current things that are funded and even archived. It peters out a little bit towards, when we didn't have quite the system we do now. But that's a really good thing to do. They have a simple search and they have an advanced search. So if you wanted to know something about ATE and 3D printing, you could go to the advanced search. You could put in 3D printing as your search term, and you could find and put in advanced technological education. It will pull up everything that's been funded that has 3D printing involved. So it's a good thing to do when you're thinking about projects, because one of the things I always tell reviewers and when they're going to come and review proposals is this is our federal taxpayer dollars. So we want to be really smart about how we invest it. So you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So you may have a wonderful project idea, but if there's somebody else that's been funded in a similar area, you would want to let reviewers know that you actually understand that. You still think you have a unique twist. Some of the things that have been developed you could actually adapt maybe or implement, but you've still got something new that needs to be done. And it could be new and very unique to your institution, and you're going to adapt it something that someone else has done. So use that the awards database. And then on the bottom right, where it's got funding opportunities, one of the things you can do is check there and also sign up so that you get email notices when a program solicitation is published. So a lot of times you guys know before I do, because I haven't checked this at work, and I'll get an email from somebody saying, so the new solicitation is out. Now I don't understand this part of it. And I'll say, well, what it is, and then they'll go, yeah, it hit the streets today. So use that. That's actually a really smart thing to sign up for. Okay, so what about ATE? ATE is a technician education program, a workforce development program. Was one of the first programs at the National Science Foundation that Congress mandated the foundation to develop. And one of the things it did was say Congress said community colleges have to have leadership roles on all projects. Doesn't mean every project has a community college as the fiscal agent. But it means that community college faculty have to have leadership roles. So there's got to be roles and responsibilities there. The other thing Congress said was pathways are going to be important. If we want to educate a highly qualified technical workforce for the industry that really is hopefully going to keep us globally competitive, we've got to think about it long term. So ATE can support efforts in grades 7 through 12, 2-year and 4-year institutions. And part of that's driven by industry. I was actually, prior to coming to NSF, I was asked to be on an advisory board for a ChemTech program. And the very first meeting of that program, the principal investigator of the project asked her industry people who were there, who would you hire for your entry-level jobs? And the industry people said, oh, we wouldn't hire anybody unless they had a Bachelor of Science degree. And I'm kind of like rolling my eyes a little bit because this is an ATE project. And the PI was great. She didn't miss a beat. She said, well then, what we're going to be working on is a clear articulation pathway so that students who do ChemTech at our institution have an articulated pathway to a 4-year program so that they can finish their bachelor's degree. And I went, wow, that was good. She did a great job. So industry can help define, in a way, what their entry-level workforce is going to look like, and you want to be responsive to that. So that brings us to that last point of partnerships. You also need strong industry partners, not just the advisory board members that meet, once a year and you check the box off with your dean that, yes, I had an advisory board meeting for my technical workforce program and all is good. They ate a lot and they had a really nice time. You want real partners that are going to work with you, everything from developing curriculum, helping you develop it, maybe allowing you to go in and do a skills gap analysis of what you have in an existing program that may need to be tweaked to be more responsive, all of that sort of thing. And then think about economic development agencies and workforce investment boards. They can help you too. They could be active partners as well. So that's kind of a brief overview of ATE. This is a little bit dated. We haven't been cut, but the program has been capped for a while. I figure it's a good thing we didn't get cut with the economic downturn, but I'd love to see it start growing. FY 14 and 15, 14 stayed at 64, 15 Congress said HITEC needs more money. So we actually went up to 66 million this last year. So hopefully the trend of being flat funded is over. But you can see that since it's really started in '94, there has been a pretty constant increase in the budget of the program. It doesn't rank up there with TACT, right? I always say, well, you know, okay, $2 billion compared to 64 or 66 million a year doesn't really have the same ring to it. But we've been around for 21 going on 22 years with really an amazing community of people working together, and I think really the successes, a lot of the successes in TACT, when Department of Energy got very interested in looking at it, we found that in manufacturing, energy-related projects, and IT projects, over 90% of either the awardee or sub-awardees on TACT projects had prior or current ATE funding. So I like to say that part of the reason TACT is going to be successful is because of the ATE community. Okay, 21-year history, more than, that's actually close to probably getting close to 1,500 awards pretty much in every state we've covered, as well as territories. I don't think we've gotten the Marshall Islands yet, but we're working on that. So this is a program that really covers and spans the entire United States and the territories. There are 3 different tracks in the program. Projects can be up to $300,000 per year over 3 years, so that would be a full project award would be up to $900,000. I highlighted in red the small grants for institutions new to the ATE program. Big point to make there, Mentor Connect supports that particular focus area. The success rate overall on the program, as the program has been flat funded, has dropped to around 21%. Pretty competitive program. This particular focus area, small grants for institutions new to ATE, still has a funding rate that's better than 50%. And it's gone from anywhere from 60 to 80% in various years. So I think I'm safe in saying for any federal program you would like to submit to, this is going to have your highest chance of success. And part of that is due to the program officers who work on it, who come to me every year and say, if it's a good idea and the problems are fixable, can we fund it? And every year I say yes. So that's definitely something to think about. The other 2 tracks are centers and targeted research on technician education. And if you've got questions about that, I can talk about that later. So overall, here's that flat funding rate, and I put up the cartoon. The mazes were too easy, so now they have me running through bureaucracies and looking for grants. So it's just one of those cartoons I really like. And again, small new to ATE has a much higher funding rate. Some of the advice from program officers, I can't say it enough, read the solicitation carefully. I know Mentor Connect actually gives you a homework assignment. Did you read the solicitation? Here's some questions we're going to ask you about what's in the solicitation. Choose the right program track. I know Mentor Connect does another thing. I think Elaine's comments are, hey, think of writing a proposal kind of like having a baby. 9 months that's all right. You should be working on it for quite a while. You can't really throw one of these things together in a short amount of time. Get help and avoid errors. You can talk to any program officer. You've got the Mentor Connect people, and you've got all of the mentors, both project and center PIs, that are going to be really willing to work with you and help you out. Be alert for changes. There was a new solicitation. There were not huge changes, but it is something that you want to be aware of. This is what the page looks like that has that solicitation on. Dave Brown is here. We'll be doing a session in a little while about funding opportunities at National Science Foundation. He was a rotator, which means he was here for 3 years and he's going home to his home institution. And he will probably tell everybody in that session that yesterday it was 15 days till he goes home, now it's 14 days. So he's going back to Southwestern College in Chula Vista, California. But he got another one of his colleagues, Tom Higgins from Harold Washington College in the Chicago area, will be coming in, and he'll be the co-lead coming in this fall. And Connie and Corby and Dave Campbell are all permanent program officers. So email any one of us. We are happy to take your questions and provide help to you. All right, so with that, I'm going to turn it back to Elaine, and I'm around for any questions. And again, my email was on that first slide, and I'm happy to speak with any of you and field synopses of your project ideas. Thank you.
Thanks, Celeste. So, the Mentor Connect project, why does it exist? The National Science Foundation is really dedicated to serving everyone in the nation. And in the HI-TEC program, that target audience is predominantly the two-year technical and community colleges across the country. But there are many two-year technical and community colleges who've never had NSF funding. And for years, our institutions primarily focused on some Department of Education grants like TRIO grants and those Title III grants. But now that state funding to so many of our institutions has been cut, they're looking elsewhere. So that was a good opportunity when people's heads were coming out of the sand and saying, gee, where else might we find funding to move our programs forward? And then the HI-TEC program, with its focus on technician education, would like for these colleges to really be focused on producing a highly skilled workforce in advanced technologies. This particular project that is funded by the NSF HI-TEC program has Ellen Haas from the American Association of Community Colleges as co-PI, and Dennis Faber, who is a former director of one of the regional HI-TEC centers out of Maryland. Charlotte Forrest, I introduced earlier, and then I'm the principal investigator. Osa Brand works with us as senior personnel, and she's with the National Council of Geographic Education and does a lot of work in the area of geospatial technology and remote sensing. And evaluation is extremely important to all NSF HI-TEC projects, and we have an external evaluator, Dave Hatta, who is with us today and is by our side all the time, helping us document the work that we're doing and the outcomes we're achieving. So we discovered with some NSF research that about 2/3 of the community colleges in this country had not had any NSF funding. So Mentor Connect has a couple of goals. One of them is to change that statistic so that more of the community colleges in this country are taking advantage of and benefiting from the HI-TEC program, and probably even more importantly for the long haul, becoming a part of the HI-TEC community that Celeste mentioned. It is an incredible community of supportive colleagues and a wealth of information and resources and strategies that really work. Mentoring to transfer knowledge from those most experienced in the program to those new to the program and trying to learn about the program. We also want this system to be regenerative. So if you came back to this conference in a few years, instead of having me standing here talking, probably one of them is going to be standing up here talking, because our idea is to bring new people into the program, teach them what we know, help them be successful, and then they are going to be the leaders of NSF HI-TEC and STEM education at their institutions going forward. Obviously, we want to strengthen technician education to meet the STEM workforce needs and develop leaders as we go through this process. Now, we have worked with our partners at the Geotech Center to figure out where the NSF HI-TEC grantees are. So we mapped as a baseline data, as part of our evaluation for this project, where all the NSF HI-TEC awards have been made for the last 10 years. Now what our partners are doing for us is they're going to be putting in new dots on the map as people get funded who've worked with Mentor Connect. And we are going to be able to demonstrate visually the impact this program is having on that geographic diversity that we're looking for, getting more money out to more different places than ever before. So there are ways that you can benefit from and contribute to the ATE program working with the Mentor Connect project. Now let's talk a minute about eligibility. I mentioned a little bit earlier that we are focused on the 2-year technical and community colleges. So you have to be in that category for us to consider you for the Mentor Connect, the most intensive help that we have available. And we are looking at working with STEM faculty who teach technicians. So you could be a mathematics faculty member, but you're teaching courses that your technician education programs at your institution must take to be successful. So we love teams. So we like teams of faculty working together to make these things happen and improve these programs. There's also a very strong interest in rural colleges. They tend to be a little smaller, have fewer resources. They are in a position to really make the most of the help that we provide. So we're trying very hard to connect with rural colleges, but we serve all colleges. And we are very interested in diversifying the pool of ATE principal investigators, PIs as we call them. And so we want to tap into those STEM faculty from underrepresented populations, help them be successful and develop the necessary leadership skills to do this and to run good projects and to write good, strong, competitive proposals. This is, obviously I didn't expect that slide to pop up. I wasn't sure what it was, I'll have to admit it to you. But that was just a press release about the Mentor Connect project. It's good news. It means that we ran the first 3, we're concluding the first 3 years of Mentor Connect, and the results have been very promising to date, and therefore we have been successful in getting additional funding so that we may continue this service for a number of years to come. It's funded for the next 5 years. Now, what about our cohorts? We've served 3 cohorts of faculty. We select faculty to come into the program, and we accept applications now. The applications are available on the website. And then in September, we will do an orientation webinar. It will have some of the information you've heard today and some additional information about how you can get involved and how your college can sign up to be a participant and to field a team of 2 STEM faculty members to participate. We also welcome grant writers and supportive administrators to participate on a self-pay basis. We provide financial support for the faculty. We have served 59 colleges to date. We've had 61 cohort teams. We've had some duplicate teams from one college, which is why the numbers don't match. We've had 24 states represented. We've still got a few more in the nation to tap into. And you might wonder about the possibility of being selected for the Mentor Connect opportunity. We've had 93 colleges that applied for the program, and we have had about 65% acceptance rate. So your chances of getting accepted are pretty good if you put in a good application, and you can call us and get some help from us about how to do that. We've served 122 faculty and 64 administrators. So you can see some of our statistics that Charlotte and Dave help us put together for the project. What do we offer? We offer webinars. We have 3, we have an orientation webinar, and then we have 3 technical assistance webinars that we offer in the spring. Those are available to everybody. They're open to the public. We take a deep dive into some of the specifics of grant proposal development. One of our webinars is on evaluation that we do in partnership with the Evaluate Center that's funded by ETE. We do one on budgets and budget justifications, and we do one on forms. Celeste, I pulled my last grant proposal off the shelf, and I looked and counted the pages. And we have 1-page project summary, we have 15 pages of the project description, and the remaining 69 pages were forms. So we do a whole webinar just on forms, all those other pieces that go with your proposal, very important. And we also translate those into tutorials that are available on the website for referral too. The webinars are all archived and you can access them as YouTube videos. We offer mentoring, one-on-one. We have highly experienced ATE principal investigators and center directors who serve as mentors. And we assign each college a mentor. Each mentor has no more than 2 colleges that they work with through the grant development process. We have some leadership development activities throughout the year. And we have 2 workshops. One was held yesterday here at HITEC. That's the second one. The first one is in January each year. And we work with you intensely for about 3 days to teach you what you need to know about grant writing. And then you get helped along the way after that for the 9 months it takes to birth an ATE proposal right. And we have a lot of resources and just-in-time help. We have a help desk and a wonderful resource library that's growing every day with samples, examples, checklists, everything you need to really learn how to and to effectively write a competitive grant proposal. Now, I'm going to give Charlotte Forrest an opportunity to work with our mentees and share some of their experiences in the Mentor Connect project.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Appreciate it. All right. So now we have about 10 or so minutes, and I'd like to introduce, we have a panel. It's great for us to tell you the things we've done and what we're doing, what we're going to do, but to hear it from those who have been involved with the work that we're doing is really the best way to identify what's going on. So at this time, I would like for each panelist to introduce yourselves. This is some information about our lovely panelists, but I'd like for them to take just a couple of minutes to introduce themselves, where they are, and what cohort they were a part of or are a part of with the Mentor Connect project. We do have multiple members from multiple cohorts here today. So at this time, I'll give you all the floor.
So I'm Sharon Gusky. I'm from Northwestern Connecticut Community College, and I was part of Cohort 1. I am part of Cohort 1 for the Mentor Connect. We received our grant last August, so we just completed our first year and our first year report. So my project is called MADE in Northwestern Connecticut, and that stands for Manufacturing Associate's Degree Education in Northwestern Connecticut. The college I'm at is a rural college, and most people don't think about Connecticut as being rural, but our service area covers about 20% of the landmass of Connecticut, and we have about 5% of the population. So our FTE, full-time equivalent, we have about 750 students. So we put this program in because not only is it difficult for us to get students because we're very small in a large area, but also our manufacturers were having trouble getting employees, skilled employees, and getting people to stay in the area. So they felt it was better if we could train the people who are already in the area to fill the jobs. So Mentor Connect has been really wonderful. We went for that 3-day workshop. We learned how to write grants. We got help along the way, a lot of feedback, a lot of support, and now they're providing additional leadership support.
My name is Donnell Perry. I'm with Lawson State Community College, and I'm in cohort 3. It's been a great experience so far working with Mentor Connect. The process with me is when I was first chosen, I felt like a celebrity.
You are a celebrity.
Yes.
What are you going?
Being chosen out of a select few over the nation. So I really felt like a celebrity. and I actually use it at home from time to time because my wife will say, "Hey, you got a mess all over this dining room table, or you need to go take it in your office." I said, "Babe, I'm working on my grant." So she'll say, "Well, go ahead, honey." No, but it's really been a great experience. After I got over the celebrity status and started working, I really found that the work was really a lot of work, but the work was very gratifying because it helped me learn about the area that I teach in, that I thought I knew everything about my workforce and was able to prove it. Because with the grant, you have to prove everything that you say, and without just your opinion. Somebody else in economic development or workforce or your advisory committee, they have to prove that what you say is actually true. So that was a challenge, but with the thanks of with the help of a mentor, a great mentor, Vince Denoto is my mentor, and he's somebody that's well, he is a celebrity as far as the GIS world is concerned. And other people that has made an impact on my area, which is geospatial technology. That's what I chose to do mine on. And also Elaine has really been a great help, and Charlotte Forrest has been a great help also. So those guys, it's a treasure of resources and a treasure of experience, and they kind of hold your hand. It feels a lot better when you got somebody to hold your hand, because if I tried to approach this by myself, I would have been very discouraged, because you see in the beginning, like I said, the celebrity status, like, hey, I'm going to write a grant. And but when reality kicks in, it's a lot of work. But with Mentor Connect, you got them to hold your hand all the way. And like I said, it's a treasure of resources and experience that's there.
Hi, friends. My name's Hugh Gallagher. I'm from Community College of Beaver County, and I was part of Cohort 1 with Sharon as well. And first, I would just really like to thank the National Science Foundation, Mentor Connect, AACC as well too. What a great program they have with Mentor Connect. It really was incredibly beneficial to our college. We define most of what has been talked up here. A small community college just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not a whole lot of resources as some of the bigger community colleges in our area. And this is really putting us in a position to be able to do some technician training that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So in connecting our presentation from the morning, I think that when we first decided to be involved in this project, it was truly dreaming what we thought was impossible on our level. And through Mentor Connect, it really made it possible, and we're doing it right now. We're living the dream, as a cliche term would be calling it. We have funding to support our dream, which is incredible. So it's allowing us to do a lot of great things. We've built a really robust advisory group. We've recruited many students into our program, and we'll be talking about that later on at a session today. And we've done these things through great help through all the many resources. And I'd like to echo many of the sentiments that my other panelists are talking about, the immense amount of resources throughout this process. So they invest a lot of time and energy because they truly care. So you may think it odd because it's something that hasn't happened to you before, where we have people that are so caring and want to help you. You almost sometimes be like, but what are these guys doing? How could they be, are they truly wanting us to be successful? Meanwhile, they're going to do everything they can to put you in a position of success. And so, those that are working at this consistently, and we're happy to, be up here sharing that we have birthed a beautiful baby and it's becoming a toddler. And I think that we're very fortunate to be able to be in that position. But if we didn't realize it was possible, That was our first step. And so many of you are in this room thinking about this as a possibility, and I'd encourage you to dream about it and apply and do everything you can to get connected. And I just would like to finish the introduction by saying I think it's expected now that they're investing in leadership skills with some of the teams in cohort 1, that and this whole conference and this whole community embodies, to me, one saying that to whom much has been given, much is expected. So if they're investing money in you, if they're investing their time in you, they want to be able to share your story and share your message, and that's something that's so critically important. Without that, this ceases to exist, in my opinion. So I think that's something that you can see from the many great people that we have in this room that continue to share their stories, their experiences, and how that really makes for a fertile future for the next generation of awardees. So I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And normally we would have a lot more time, and I really do encourage any of you who have questions about Mentor Connect or any of the work that's going on to please talk to our panelists, our wonderful cohort members. There are about 80 Mentor Connect past, present, hopefully future cohort members here at the conference. So please take some time, talk to them about their experiences, and some of them are actually presenting here at the conference, so please support them in that way. So thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you.
At this time, before we get into questions, I just want to highlight a couple of very important dates for the Mentor Connect project. I just want to reiterate that September 10th, 2015, from 1 p.m. to 2:30, we will have an orientation webinar that introduces and goes a little bit more in depth on what you heard today on how to get involved with Mentor Connect and the activities that we put on throughout the year, and how to, if you are selected and want to apply for the program mentorship, what to look for. In addition to that, we'd also like to go ahead and highlight a couple of key dates for those technical assistance webinars that Elaine has highlighted. Those will come up in the spring. They are free of charge. For those webinars, they run about 90 minutes, and the only requirement is that you register. So if you'd like more information about that, stop by our booth, go to our website, and look for information surrounding those events and activities. This is how you can get in touch with the Mentor Connect project. We are on social media. mentorconnect.org. There are lots of resources there in addition to ways to communicate with us and our team members. So at this time, are there any questions that any of you have today?
Go ahead. I think your questions are relevant.
Did you work with, did you guys have a team, or was it just your mentor and you? So I'm asking if we had
Okay.
a team of faculty that were trying to put together for
Right.
technology collection.
So with Mentor Connect, they're required 2 faculty members, and in addition, you could bring administrators or grant writers. And then as we wrote the proposal, it was me and my colleague, Tara Jo Holmberg. We worked on it, but then we also brought in a lot of other people to help us along the way. So our institutional research person, our English faculty to make sure that we're grammatically correct, so there's a lot of people. So it turns out to be a team effort overall. Yep.
All right. Any other questions, sir?
I think I'll bring mine up.
Sure.
It really isn't, I think, appropriate for this forum.
Okay. Talk to us. Anyone else?
Actually, let me ask them.
Sure.
I changed my mind.
Sorry, see, I got sorry. We come from Puerto Rico, where there are no 2 years. They're all here for the within 4-year university. Does that disqualify?
Nope. It's if you were working strictly with the 4-year program, that would be another issue. But there's Penn State has campuses that only award associate degrees, and
change in the future?
Well, the whole idea with Mentor Connect was to try and diversify the institutional profile for ATE. So there's, 1,132 community and technical colleges in the United States. ATE's been around for 21, going on 22 years. If we've only really reached a third of those institutions, every new institution that comes in broadens the diversity of the program. If your institution has had an award, it doesn't mean you can't use the resources that are available on the website. It would say what you want to do is build a proposal and a budget that you justify well, and don't worry about the small new to ATE. Craft a really good proposal that comes in as a regular project, because you're not going to qualify as an institution that's new to ATE, even though, let's say your first award was in engineering technology and you're in computer science and information technology and you want to come in. It's the institution that determines that limitation. So, but I would still say, please come in, you know, and the other thing is, you've also got faculty in your institution who can help you as well. If you guys have had other awards, there should be people there on campus, including people in your financial office that are gonna be able to walk you through some of the really critical steps.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for both Celeste and the group. You were mentioning in the morning, if you have ideas, go home and submit a proposal in October. But when I'm listening to Mentor Connect, I should wait 9 months, so.
Well,
It's right,
And nobody had ever done it before.
Yeah. And there was one of the program officers, a geologist, a couple of years ago said, come on, I wrote my first proposal 3 days before the submission date, and I got funded the first time I submitted it. That's pretty unusual. And I've also run into, it's funny, it's another geologist, from another, a community college in California. He goes, 4th time. It took me 4 times submitting a proposal before I got it funded. And I go, but you finally got it right, you got the award. So you gotta be persistent, you know, and that is one of those things that comes up. Some of it, you know, as Elaine says, have you done one of these things before? If you've written other proposals similar to this, you could probably walk through the resources, and you might be one of those people that turns it in and it goes forward to an award the very first time. Part of it will depend on your own confidence level and how, you know, how you feel about it.
That's good news, you got that free time to research. But, what I wanted to know on the projects you have too, that's different funding source. You talked about the 60
Well, there's-
million for ATE, is that for projects fit into that budget also?
That's the entire budget for the program. So the 66 million this year covered, all types of projects, centers and projects on target research. So that's the whole budget.
There are many more projects that are funded than centers.
Yes, yes, as a matter of
What's the
fact,
ratio?
with the flat funding, let's see. There's a little blurb on it in the solicitation, it says we typically make somewhere between 45 and 60 project awards a year. And usually it'll say somewhere between 4 to 6 centers. That's been kind of pushing it lately, because the centers are big ticket items, right? They're multiple $1 million awards. So, it's been a lot harder to get a center through in the last few years than previously. But projects are still hanging in there. They're
These are fabulous questions, and they are questions that we've had to answer. So feel free after this session is over to grab one of us and ask these great questions. But we are out of time, a little over time. But I'd like to thank Dr. Carter for her time today, Elaine, my leader, and of course our panelists. Exactly. You, yes. And we thank you all for your time today. And again, connect with us. We're in booth 311. So if you have questions, we look forward to seeing you. Thanks.